So, here we have the first finished painting from the series I announced about 6 weeks ago, dealing with or exploring the story in Matthew chapter 14 in the New Testament. It started out as the series containing about 12 paintings, but I have a problem. When I get going on an idea, it expands. And so that number is starting to grow. And one of the next ones that I'll be doing actually goes to the beginning before the beginning of that story, which is Jesus feeding the 5,000. And so there's a couple paintings from that bit of the story that are being added to this series. But I feel pretty good about it. Pretty exciting. Pretty excited anyway. There are a lot of really good Christian artists working in the world today, and the old masters certainly fit into that category because so much of the work from the Renaissance was religious in nature. Just so many wonderful examples of things. One of the things that makes me different perhaps than a lot of others is I am intensely inspired by and interested in the absolute reality of the mortal life of Jesus Christ. I love the gritty documentary type details, and so when I depict scenes from the New Testament, I'm less interested in kind of a soft focus, golden lighted kind of theological or theoretical or dreamy vision. I'm more interested in the gritty details, and so when I paint Christ and the other people in the stories, it's like I'll include a little bit of chest hair coming out of the top of the tunic, and Semitic people and Levantine people tend to be very heavy bearded, and so I have the beard creeping up to the cheekbones and down the neck, and rough linen clothing, and these kinds of gritty details. That's part of what inspires me the most, is the absolute reality, the gritty reality and the complete humanity of Jesus' mortal life. To me, that doesn't take away from his divine mission or his divine character. In my mind, it adds to it. And so as you see me paint, as you see my paintings emerge, and my depictions from the New Testament multiply, that's one of the details that I wanted to call out at the beginning, because that's part of my aesthetic, that's part of my attraction to these things. The original disciples, it seems pretty clear that they didn't always have a proper understanding of the divinity of Jesus Christ during his mortal life with them. They had moments where they got it and said, yes, this is the Messiah. And they had other moments where they weren't quite sure, because the Messiah they were taught to expect all growing up and for 1,000 years before was not the Messiah they were experiencing in real time. They were taught more to look forward to the millennial Messiah, the second coming Messiah, as described in books like the Book of Revelation. That was the vision they were looking for. And so it was kind of a jarring thing for them to grapple with during Christ's mortal ministry. But they saw him sleep. They saw him eat. They saw him smile. They heard the sound of his voice. They may have seen him irritated. They know he got dirt on his clothes. They experienced the raw human reality of him. And that's one of the things that I get most excited about with these depictions and want to emphasize very deliberately. So that's perhaps one thing that makes me different from most other Christian artists. I thought you might like to know that.